Hey everyone, it's your buddy back again with another exciting fanfic, which is what if Naruto gained full control over the Kyuubi during the Chunin exams. Part 3. If you enjoy this story, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more fanfics like this. Now, let's dive right into the fanfic. Summoning Jutsu. 4 huge plumes of smoke erupted from either side of valley, blocking out the sunlight for the people straining their eyes to see. As the smoke disappeared, 4 mammoth creatures stood tall on each side of the valley. 2 toads, both red, sat crouched, ready to pounce on the set of purple snakes that lay coiled on the other side of the land gap. I see why you summoned me, Naruto, stated the Gamaican, his club already in hand. I will do my best, but I am quite clumsy. Ken, stop that, you're more graceful than Bunta is, stated Naruto. I heard that, brat, shouted said Toad, confusing the onlookers. With the retrieval team, that's Gamabunta and the Toad Naruto summoned during the Chunin exams, exclaimed Kiba, surprised to see 2 huge, legendary beasts. Their opponents are even more startling. Orochimaru and Manda, the snake boss, stated Shino from his position next to Sasuke, where he kept his insects draining the Uchiha's chakra. To think, anyone would stand up to Orochimaru-sama, stated a wary Karen. Well, Naruto-kun was the most stubborn of all of us, guess we shouldn't be too surprised, stated Ino, getting an odd look from Shino and Shikamaru. He did fight a Biju after all. The fight. Even now, brat, you mock me with your petty existence. Just like your miserable father and mother, shouted Orochimaru, his rage contained well beneath a mask of calmness. It was a surprise to everyone when it was Gamaican who spoke first. Do not insult and sully their names with your foul tongue. They were both head and shoulders above you. Foolish Toad. You are not even the boss of your clan and yet you speak to my summoner in such a way. You will die here today, along with that brat on your back, shouted the snake to the side of Manda. I've had enough of this for one day. Ken, shock and awe, shouted Naruto as he created a clone beside himself. Got it. Lightning style, Toad Bolt Jutsu. Wind style, Great Breakthrough. Water style, Grand Collision Wave. Toad Collaboration style, Toad God Thunderstorm, shouted the 2 Narutos and Gamaican at once. The lightning bolt that came from Gamaican's mouth surged through the water of Grand Collision Wave and powered forward by the wind of Great Breakthrough, resulting in a beam of electrified water that slammed into the smaller snake, barely missing Manda and forcing Kabuto off of his summon. The smaller snake dispersed back to its summon realm. Where has the child gained such power? He's already defeated the Sound 4, he killed Suigetsu, put down my new body, and took out my second best summon. I'll kill that goddamned brat, snarled Orochimaru mentally. Manda, take out the toads. With pleasure, stated Manda before he burrowed into the ground. Ken, I'm going to go take down Kabuto, help Bunta beat the snake, stated Naruto as he took a running start and leapt of the toad's head, over the canyon and towards the traitorous Kabuto. Retrieval team. Naruto. No, shouted Ino as she watched Naruto dive bomb off of the mammoth toad, over the canyon. Ino, he's going to be alright, his trajectory will land him on the other side with plenty of room to spare, stated Shikamaru, who himself was in awe of the controlled insanity that was Naruto Uzumaki. It's like he has no fear of death, just a healthy respect for it. Jiraiya versus Orochimaru. That brat is quite impressive, even with him constantly thwarting my plans. Perhaps I shall use him as my next vessel, stated Orochimaru, taunting Jiraiya from the top of Manda. Hey, you have no clue. He wouldn't join you and you don't have the willpower to take him over, stated Jiraiya. Perhaps, but will can be broken, stated Orochimaru with a sickly sweet voice that made the hairs on the back of Jiraiya's neck rise. Now, I'll let Kabuto end him, while I finally kill you. Focus on your own fight, stated Gamaican as he slammed into Manda with his shield. Naruto. As Naruto descended towards Kabuto's position, he started spinning, his sword held across his face, one hand on the handle, the other holding the full circle cutout. His spin caused the legendary Kyuubi to turn into a vicious fan blade of death as he got closer to his target. Kabuto was shocked to see the daring maneuver by the rookie Jonin. He really had to give the blonde credit. It took balls to jump off of a giant toad, over a canyon and attack him. Kabuto waited till the last second to dodge, jumping far away from the impact site. His eyes nearly left his skull as the rotating blonde released his blade, timed perfectly so the massive slab of metal headed right for the still airborne Kabuto. Impossible. He was spinning too fast for any kind of accuracy, shouted Kabuto in his head as he did his best to maneuver around the giant blade, only slightly succeeding as the blade sliced through his left side, nicking his kidney. Shit. I need to heal. Wait, what? Ah. Everyone froze as the blood-curdling scream broke the air. Everyone looked over to see the legendary Kyuubi flying back towards Naruto's awaiting hand, covered in blood, and with a glowing purple chain attached to the hilt, which ran back to Naruto's sleeve. Okay, absolutely no clue how I did that, I'll figure it out later, thought Naruto with a calm expression. The brat. Those are the Uzumaki chains, shouted Orochimaru through gritted teeth. What next? Does that little shit know the Hiraishin too? No, stated Jiraiya suspiciously. But I don't know that for sure. He's your student Baka. How can you not know? Shouted Orochimaru, but before he could get an answer, a spiked club came down on the top of Manda's head, the snake Sanin barely jumping out of the way before his summon departed to his realm to heal. Hopefully that killed him. Good work, Ken. Let's have a drink. And with that, the two toads left, knowing their job was done. Meanwhile, while Orochimaru looked disbelievingly at Jiraiya, who continued to astound the snake man with his sheer stupidity, Kabuto was hunched over holding his side and pumping chakra into the gaping wound on his side. I know you can heal yourself, but can you heal from wind chakra cuts? Probably. After all, you're Orochimaru's bitch, stated Naruto as he slowly gathered water chakra. This was all just a diversion. I know you have a secret weapon in hiding back there, over in the tree line, and even if they do come out. Hidden mist jutsu. Retrieval team. What is this jutsu? Sakura said that they fought in it before, but I've never seen it used by anyone else, stated Kiba. I asked my father about it, stated Shino. He said that Kiri ninja, particularly the seven swordsmen of the mist, use it to conceal movement. It has been said that the best, namely Kushimaru Kuriare and Zabuza Momochi, could sometimes block out sound, sight, and even other chakra signatures. I couldn't sense his chakra when I fought him. It makes sense now though, stated Neji. While I'm not the most skilled in it, I am aware of my surroundings. That was blocked off when he used this mist. I'm still confused as to what he did with that sword. What was that chain he had attached to it? Asked Choji. Master Orochimaru said they were chakra chains, stated Karen from the back of the group, gaining their attention. Where have I heard that before? Naruto's fight. How can this mist be so damn thick? I don't understand. This is unreal. It's like it's physically holding me back, thought Kabuto as he tried to gain his bearings. I can't see at all, and I can't hear anything. I can't even sense his chakra signature. Out of darkness, out of night. The demon has returned, come back to fight. And with that fight you will never again see light. Where is he? I can't even smell him. 1. 2. Your senses betray you. This killer intent. It's unreal, thought Kabuto as he barely managed to stand. Suddenly a sharp pain met his side. Looking to see what it was, he panicked seeing his wound had been reopened. I didn't even feel the blade. 3. 4. Here comes some more. Kabuto's other side split open in a new rush of blood. I need to heal, or I'm going to die. 5. 6. There's a limit of what you can fix. Another slash, this one to his upper back. 7. 8. Death is a traitor's fate. Kimimaro. 9. 10. Clang. Naruto's blade was kept from slicing Kabuto in half by a spear of bone. The blonde retreated into the mist, observing the new foe. That worked, at least now his buddy is out in the open. Wait. Is that a shit? The mist started to move away from the two white-haired men due to the influx of chakra from the newcomer. Deciding to just release the mist, figuring it would be useless to keep it going, he cut the chakra to it. How many of you curse seal bastards are there? Questioned Naruto loudly. Kit, you're low on your chakra, start using mine and end this now. How much can I use? Go to 20 and kill the medic, then finish off the bone user. You're pathetic. Why Orochimaru-sama thinks of you as his best soldier, I will never understand. Stated Kimimaro. His skills are far from what my data shows. He must be growing stronger at an unheard of rate. Stated Kabuto. He killed off the Sound 4, killed Suigetsu and defeated Sasuke, who had just activated the second level of the curse mark. Also his sword skills are vast and unpredictable. I will decide that for myself. Stated Kimimaro, entering the second level of his curse mark. Let's see just how strong he is. I see that you also have that damn curse mark. But I can tell you're stronger than the other 5 users of defeated. Stated Naruto before red chakra burst out of him, looking like he was encased in wicked flames. Naruto drew his sword from his back. Let's see how much stronger. The dinosaur-like Kimimaro reached to his shoulders and drew out 2 long bones before settling into deep stance that caught Naruto's attention. There's no way that stance is built around speed. Quickness and a lot of power maybe, but not speed. Thought Naruto before blurring out of the curse mark warrior's vision, only to feel his upper back sliced down to the bone shield. So fast. Almost as fast as Orochimaru-sama. And he cut me. How is that possible? My skin is as hard as tempered steel when I'm this foe, ah. Shouted the Kagaya as he felt his bicep sliced down to the bone. He's hurting Kimimaro. But that's impossible. No blade should be able to just slice his skin, thought Kabuto as he continued to heal. I'm not even fully healed yet and I'm already getting low on chakra. Meanwhile, Naruto was having thoughts of his own. How tough is this guy? I destroyed Sasuke when he used that mark, but this guy is barely wounded after 2 near-fatal hits. Forgetting the thought momentarily, he continued the plan and moved as fast as his body could go, aiming to decapitate the medic, only for his blade to be stopped by a familiar chunk on bone. What? That's the fastest I've ever moved, and he blocked it. Avoiding the follow-up strike, Naruto dodged back from the bone user, only to have to dive away to avoid a chakra slash from Kabuto. He processed to block a slash from Kimimaro with the flat of his sword. Spinning on his heel, he drove his foot into the medic's side, sending him a distance away before disengaging from the bone user and sweeping the sword around and narrowly missing Kimimaro, who dodged back just in time. Naruto was about to go on the offensive when he felt a swell of negative emotions from behind him. He gripped his sword with both hands and swung, hitting the approaching medic with the broad side of the sword before spinning back around, grabbing a bone spear that was inches from his chest and using all his strength, throwing the bone user over his shoulder and into Kabuto. I see, the pest is back. Guess you're just like I thought. A parasite that hides behind his strong allies when the doing gets tough. Oh well, stated Naruto evenly, hiding his true emotions. Those 2 are going to be hard to take down. The bone user is hard to hurt and fast to act, all the while Kabuto can heal himself and others. I can't believe I have to use this. Suddenly, there were 10 Narutos, each in chakra cloak, each had a Kubikiribocho and each looked pissed. I was going to offer surrender. But I guess that's out of the question. Before Kabuto even had a chance to reply, he was forced to dodge 2 blades, one going for his knees, the other for his throat. Kimimaro was in a similar situation as he was dodging and blocking the strikes of 5 Zanbato-wielding blondes. Both were being cut up bad before the clones around Kimimaro disappeared, leaving a cloud of chakra smoke behind. The moment felt like it lasted for hours as time slowed to a crawl. Rasengan. Jiraiya. The fight between Jiraiya and Orochimaru had devolved into little more than a staring match, both unwilling to use their respective trump cards. Jiraiya didn't because Sage Mode took too long to prepare and would leave him in no shape to help Naruto should he need it. Orochimaru because he knew once he brought out his sword Jiraiya would use his sealing to take it away as he almost did last time they fought, and he didn't have the Edo Tensei prepared. Seems we once again face an impasse. Wouldn't you say, Orochimaru? The snake man snarled at his old teammate before looking across the canyon to his two best men, just on time to see the blonde use that damned shadow clone. To be able to send the beast's chakra to 10 clones at once. He truly is a cut above the rest. Even Sasuke will be no match for him. Damn Minato, damn him for both his infernal children. How's it feel to know that both his sons are stronger than you will ever be? Stated Jiraiya, getting another snarl from the snake Sanin. Just so you know, he is going to kill the bone user and most likely the medic too. Kimimaro is already dying, and there's no way to prevent it. I've already set up multiple ways for his bloodline to move on. Kabuto will not fall to his mindless tactics. Stated Orochimaru as he watched the bone user struggle against the clones attacking. There isn't a better tactical mind in the world than his. Stated Jiraiya proudly. The plans he comes up with are foolproof and ingenious. Rasengan. Naruto. Kimimaro didn't have time to react when the blonde appeared in front of him, a purple ball of chakra spiraling in his hand, before the blonde slammed it into Kimimaro's chest, as it instantly started grinding into torso, ripping the skin away and grinding painfully though his rib cage before the bone user flew back and hit the ground with a loud thud, entrenching as he plowed through earth, his body now limp. Kabuto stood shocked as he watched Kimimaro defeated. What? Suddenly, bones grew wildly around them as Kimimaro's voice echoed through the area. I will kill you if it's the last thing I do for defying Lord Orochimaru. Dead Bone Forest. Naruto acted quickly and ran as far away as he could, spires of bone shooting up behind him as he pushed his speed to the limit. He had no clue how fast he was moving, or how far he had run. He just knew not to stop. Suddenly, the bones stopped growing from the ground. Naruto continued to put room between himself and the forest, knowing he could still be killed if he looked too soon. As soon as he felt he had moved far enough away to be safe, he turned around, shocked to find that he had traveled almost a mile in less than 10 seconds, the bone forest less than 50 feet away from him. To think, he was that strong. To make this with his dying breath. Stated Naruto in awe. Kit. He's coming, and fast. His power is still climbing, use the burp. Shouted Kurama from inside of Naruto. We need a better name for it. Thought Naruto before fathering as much of Kurama's chakra to his throat as he could. Another bone sprouted up in front of Naruto, who dodged back just in time to avoid his skull being pierced by a bone spear. Naruto landed in a crouch, his throat swelling as he took aim at the curse mark warrior that was bearing down on him. Now, Jiraiya and Orochimaru, what's this power? I've never felt anything like it. Shouted Orochimaru as he felt the power rolling off of the blonde. Well, Orochimaru, looks like the kid is done playing. Your shinobi are as good as dead. Stated Jiraiya. Orochimaru was about to retort when he witnessed the beam of pure gold chakra escape the blonde's mouth, disintegrating everything in its path. Naruto. Naruto unleashed the pure chakra, aimed true at his target, who simply evaporated the instant the attack touched him, as well as a good portion of the bone forest behind him, leaving a trench that formed a miniature canyon, nearly matching the valley it stood next to. Kabuto had gotten out of the way, and was now on the other side of the canyon, somehow crossing the expanse while Kimimaro took the attack. Time seemed frozen as everyone watched the attack plow through everything in its path, leaving nothing in its wake but destruction. Retrieval team. Impossible. That amount of power should be impossible. Stated Shino, his Kikachu all terrified of the pure chakra that lingered in the air. Shikamaru simply nodded. His mind, for the first time he could remember, was blank. Neji and Choji were no different, they both simply stood in awe of the jutsu. Ino and Karen, on the other hand, were scared. Similar thoughts running through their heads. How could someone so nice do something like that? Time restarted again when they watched as Naruto, his chakra still flaming around him, took off on a dead sprint towards Kabuto, clearing the canyon with apparent ease. As he drew closer to the white-haired ninja, he once again disappeared when he was only feet away from his target. Clang! Standing over Kabuto, two legendary swords clashed, the Kubikiribocho barely being held back by the Kunasagi of Orochimaru. But behind Orochimaru was Jiraiya, a kunai at the snake Sanin's throat. This was also the time that Sasuke regained full consciousness. The Dobi is holding back Orochimaru. That means that the Dobi is at least strong enough to stand his ground against him. Why should I go to Orochimaru when Dobi is just as strong? Even with that strange chakra, Dobi got that strong while serving Konoha. Itachi grew strong enough to kill the clan while serving, I'll do the same. Then I'll kill Itachi. Shit, Shino must be draining my chakra, I barely have enough for a Chidori. It's over Orochimaru. You move or Kabuto moves and I'll kill you. Stated Jiraiya. He was so focused on saving his subordinate that he didn't feel me right behind him. How important is this kid? Jiraiya. He's shown himself. Stated Naruto wearily before he stiffened up. I'm afraid you must release Orochimaru, Jiraiya. My organization is still in need of him. Stated the new voice from behind Naruto, who held a kunai at the young Jonin's throat. Itachi. Stated Jiraiya as he locked eyes with the young man holding his student hostage. Ironic. Naruto is being held at knife point by his older brother. Wait. His hair isn't as dark as it used to be. Did he find the seal? Naruto. Slowly lower your sword and back into Itachi. Itachi, if you could allow Naruto to move away from these two, we can get somewhere. Itachi nodded and Naruto removed his blade, slowly backing up into the Rouge Uchiha. There's something else going on here. Akatsuki wouldn't risk a Jinchuriki to save someone who betrayed them. And Jiraiya is too trusting, something isn't right. Funny, isn't it? You were ordered to protect me as Crow, and now you hold me at knife point as Itachi. Itachi froze slightly, he wasn't expecting that. I wasn't ordered to protect you as a child, I did so because I was your older brother. I am your older brother, and I must protect you, even if I have to hurt innocent people to do so. Sasuke watched the exchange in silence, not wanting the others to know that he was awake. Naruto is able to take on Orochimaru, and Itachi got behind him before he could even react. Just how strong are you, Itachi? Orochimaru and Kabuto both stood off to the side. Itachi still had Naruto held hostage and Jiraiya looked extremely conflicted. Now that this matter has been resolved, stated Itachi, releasing Naruto, who smoothly moved to Jiraiya's side. I will escort these two a safe distance away. Until next time, Konoha ninja. Time skip. So he just left? Questioned Sarutobi, looking over the report. Of course he had watched the whole thing in his crystal ball, but at that range it was fuzzy and there was no sound. The only ones left in the office were Naruto, Jiraiya, Shikamaru, and Shino. Ino, Choji, Kiba, and Neji had been relieved to rest while Sasuke was currently in the hospital's prisoner infirmary under Anbu watch along with the chakra-exhausted Karen and the still unconscious Tayuya. Yes. But it would make sense, two traitors looking after each other. Stated Jiraiya, getting a contemplating look from Sarutobi. Yes, that would make an amount of sense. Stated Sarutobi, his pipe never leaving his mouth. Shikamaru, Shino, you both did an effective job leading, maximizing your strength, even if you only had to capture without any fighting. Well done the both of you. You are dismissed for now, report in the morning for your next assignments. The two simply nodded and left. Naruto, what do you believe should be done with Sasuke? As his ex-teammate and having the most experience with him, I would like to know what you think. Stated Sarutobi. Well, Gigi. Stated a hoarse Naruto, his throat still damaged from his jutsu. I think death and life imprisonment are too extreme. We have no proof that he left of his own accord, and the only time he talked he had the curse mark active. I believe he should get 3 years probation, no promotions and Anbu monitoring for at least the first 6 months. Also, someone more experienced in sealing than Hatake should shut that mark down permanently. I'll do it. The less of a connection Orochimaru has with the kid the better. Stated Jiraiya. Good. Naruto, I would send you to the hospital, but seeing as you will make it difficult, go to your home. You will need to report here in 2 days' time to assist in a confidential activity. Stated Sarutobi, a grandfatherly smile on his face. Naruto smiled back, then shot out the open window and into the night. Damn it. Now there's 2 of you that use my window as the door. What can I say? I've taught the kid well. Stated Jiraiya. Itachi is the Akatsuki agent assigned to capture Naruto. His partner is Kisame Hoshigaki. Good. Then Naruto should be safe. For now anyway. Stated Sarutobi. He's very much like his father, isn't he? Always growing at a remarkable rate. He just might take this hat by the time you 2 get back. What time do you expect Kakashi and the rest to get back? Questioned Jiraiya. Soon. Either in the morning or in the afternoon, stated Sarutobi. Now Jiraiya, before we get to anything else, I believe it's time to update the bingo book. Odo. Damn him. Damn that fooing brat. Damn him. Damn his father. Damn his mother. Damn his brother. And damn his entire bloodline. Shouted Orochimaru as he trashed the room he was currently in. Despite knowing better than to question his master when his rage was at its peak, Kabuto couldn't help but think out loud. But he doesn't have a brother. No one even knows who his parents are. Orochimaru, having heard the quiet comment, responded. Of course people know who his parents are. The brat can use Kushina's chakra chains and looks exactly like his father, that bastard who took my title of 4th Hokage away from me. And don't get me started on Minato's other brat, that half-blood Uchiha. I wish I could kill them all. Half-blooded Uchiha. But the only 2 Uchiha left are Sasuke and Itachi. But they're both Fugaku Uchiha's sons. Wondered Kabuto. No, Itachi is a bastard child that Minato and Makoto had together after a 3-way. They hid it from the Uchiha clan so that the elders wouldn't exile Get and kill the baby. Stated Orochimaru, finally beginning to cool down as he held up a book. Jiraiya used it as writing material in Volume 3. So Itachi is the 4th Hokage's firstborn son. But then why? Because as far as I know, Itachi and Sarutobi do not know. Danzo doesn't even know. The only ones who do, that are still alive, are Jiraiya, myself, maybe Kakashi, and now you know. Stated Orochimaru. He was delivered by Rin, Minato's Genin squad medic. But she died on a failed assassination in Kiri. So not even the 3rd knows. Questioned Kabuto. I'm sure the old man has a suspicion. Minato Namikaze was the single most talented ninja to ever walk this earth. He was the youngest Kage ever elected at the age of 18 and was almost unstoppable on both the battlefield and intellectually. The fact that both Itachi and Naruto made it to solid Jonin level by the time they were 13 is no stroke of luck. That's why I want that blonde-headed brat dead so badly. Itachi is bad enough, I don't need one who is just as strong. Add them to the bingo book. Stated Orochimaru as he sat down. Uzumaki and who? Questioned Kabuto. Naruto Uzumaki and Sasuke Uchiha. Stated Orochimaru. If we reveal who he really is now we will find ourselves on the wrong side of Iwa for knowing before them and I don't want that midget snooping around. Uzumaki is now a low rank threat with kill on sight orders and Sasuke is a C rank threat with capture alive orders. Naruto. Naruto walked into his parents' home, happy that his day was over and that he could finally rest. Removing his sword and cloak, he leaned them against the counter as he prepared a light dinner. Naruto rummaged through the refrigerator, finding that everything was brand new. I took the liberty of restocking it. If Naruto hadn't been used to Jiraiya and Yamato doing their best to scare him during their trip, he would have violently reacted to such an unexpected intrusion. Fortunately, he did what the average civilian would do. Jumped backwards and almost had a heart attack. Sorry for startling you. With the way you sensed me at the valley, I assumed you would know I was sitting here. Stated the voice from the still darkness cloaked area of the kitchen. What are you doing here? Asked Naruto as he flicked the light switch and the intruder came into view. Itachi Uchiha, Naruto's home. I understand if you don't believe me. I didn't believe it when my mother told me either. Stated Itachi, still sitting at his position at the table. It's a lot to take in. It's like everything I knew isn't true. All this time, stated Naruto, his mind trying to absorb all the new information. I'm sorry you had to be told instead of figuring it out on your own. Stated Itachi. But now you know. Pocky is just as good as ramen. It sounds so wrong. But Pocky is just so good. Stated Naruto, his hands in his hair as he slumped over the table. I find it astounding that you accept our blood relations so easily, yet your views on food are incredibly sedimentary. Stated Itachi as he got up and moved to the fridge. Well, there's a pair of scrolls in the basement, both of them mention you. Doesn't take a whole lot to figure it out. Especially after you ended the fight at the Valley of the End. Stated Naruto. Itachi nodded slowly. What will you do now? There's an S-class missing ninja in your home. Well, it is my home, and you are my brother. I think I never saw you. Smiled Naruto. Itachi allowed a faint smile to cross his lips. Thank you. But the next time we meet, we will fight. Kisame nor our leader know that we have blood ties, and it must stay that way. I understand. You may want to get going, there's an Anbu at my door. Stated Naruto with a smile. You're always welcome here Itachi ni. Itachi nodded and leapt out the window, while Naruto moved to the front door, opening it to find none other than Tenzo. Hey Tenzo-sensei. What's up? Wow, it's daytime. We were talking all night. Now Naruto, I was never really your sensei. More like senpai. Stated Tenzo, his smile hidden by his mask. Whatever you say wood boy senpai. Am I being summoned? Questioned Naruto. He laughed as Tenzo face vaulted, before sprinting back up. Let's go, and please call me sensei. Hospital. Naruto and Tenzo appeared in the hallway of the prison ward of the hospital. Good. You made it in good time. You'll be a fine Jonin Naruto. Smiled the third Hokage. Did you get any sleep last night? Hey Gigi, no, I didn't get any sleep. I kept going over what I learned in my fight with the Oto ninja. Stated Naruto, hiding the fact he had spent the night with Itachi. Good. Learning from your experiences. Stated Sarutobi with a nod. The young lady you suspected of being an Uzumaki has awoken, but she refuses to do anything but use profanity towards those around her. What of the other one? The censor. Asked Naruto. She is with Ibiki and Inoichi. She hasn't given them any problems. Stated Jiraiya, who left the room that they were all standing outside of. The foul-mouthed one has a lock seal on her memories. She's going to have to willingly tell us what she knows. I'll go get the censor so you can tell them both. I guess that's what I'm here then. Asked Naruto. Because I was the one that beat them. She might open up to me. That's part of it Gaki. Stated Jiraiya. The rest of it will be to tell you that we will be staying in the village till next week. We are key witnesses in the trial of the Uchiha's defection. There's a trial. I thought that usually he would be sent to jail. Stated Naruto. Usually, that would happen. Stated Sarutobi, who took a drag off of his pipe. However, due to the fact that he is a clan heir, he had a curse mark causing mental damage, and because everyone reports that he fought with you, we must allow the Shinobi Council to decide. I still say to hell with the trial. At the very least he will get attacking a superior officer. Stated Jiraiya. Be that as it may, it's required when it's a clan heir. Naruto, if you would, please go talk with the girl. Stated Sarutobi. Oto. Orochimaru sat atop his throne, his mind racing. It was bad enough that his health had begun failing in the hours after his fight with Jiraiya. That was to be expected. Jiraiya was just as strong, if not stronger than him in a straight battle, and this body was old and used. What was troubling him the most was the fact that Minato's brat had made such great strides in such a short amount of time. Unlike his father, who Jiraiya trained for roughly 5 years by the time he was the same age, Naruto had been the dead last of the academy just 8 months ago. Granted, that both Jiraiya and Naruto had held that title, but it was mostly because Jiraiya would skip class to peek on women. The brat genuinely made it too. What he would say was mid-Jonin level, in 8 months. It just wasn't natural. Even if he had shadow clones, his mother and father's talent, and the most powerful of the Biju in his stomach, it still doesn't make sense. High Chunin maybe, but not mid-Jonin. Mumbled out Orochimaru. Sir. What about a Jonin? Asked Kabuto. I've been thinking of the brat. I'd say that he is mid-Jonin in skill. Stated Orochimaru before casting a meaningful glance towards Kabuto. What do you think his skill level is? Well, I'd say overall, low Jonin. But if I include his power augmentations, mid to high Jonin. His speed in on par with Might Guy, along with his strength. Stated Kabuto. Indeed. His kenjutsu is solid as well. His style goes perfectly with his speed and power. To wield a blade of the 7 swordsmen is no easy feat. Stated Orochimaru. Unfortunately, we cannot kill him, or my old organization will come after me. It's enough that we've added him to our bingo book, we shouldn't go any farther than that. Actually, make it a point to inform Iwa and Kumo of young Uzumaki. What of young Sasuke? As long as Uzumaki is around, he will be unreachable. Stated Kabuto. Jiraiya always takes his students on training trips. We just wait till they venture from the walls and strike. Stated Orochimaru. However, with no sound for Kimamaru, we have no means of getting to him. Perhaps it's time to make a new sound for. Questioned Kabuto. Gurren would jump at the bit to be in it. I'm willing to bet there's some curse mark experiments that turned out stable enough. Hospital room. Naruto walked into the hospital room to see the redhead from the Sound 4 staring out the window. Is this a bad time? He asked cautiously. The redhead turned to him, seemingly about to shout at whoever entered her room. Then she froze. The person that entered was none other than the man who killed her entire team, along with Suigetsu and Kimamaru. She remained frozen until she started slamming her fists into the wall screaming for help. Not a moment later, the Hokage and Tenzo rushed into the room, 2 doctors following them and Karen behind the doctors. Naruto remained on the other side of the room with Karen, his mind racing. She reacted like that because she saw me. Is she really that afraid of me? Keep him away. Get him away from me before he kills me too. Karen, run. Tayuya shouted, only for the doctor to jab her in the side of the neck. Calm down, miss. I've temporarily partially paralyzed your vocal cords. You can talk, but you can't scream. Now what is the problem? Asked the doctor in a kind tone. Tayuya just pointed at Naruto, fear shining in her eyes. He killed all my teammates and my superiors. Sarutobi took a deep breath, but was beat to the punch by Naruto. Do you know why I didn't kill you? The entire room was taken by surprise by the comment, but Naruto continued. I believe you are part Uzumaki, along with Karen here. Which makes you 2 family. I kept you alive to help our clan thrive again. So you want me as breeding stock? Questioned Tayuya in fear. No way I'm sharing you with anyone else. Stated Karen. I mean, no way I'm being shared like that. What? No. Responded a shocked and disgusted Naruto. You're both free to date and love anyone you want. I just wanted to give you the chance to have a family. Here in Konoha, Tayuya turned to the old man beside her, who she knew to be Hiruzen Sarutobi, the 3rd Hokage. Sarutobi nodded. He speaks the truth. Here in Konoha, we have a law titled the Clan Restoration Act. It allows members of a dying clan to take on anyone, from inside or outside the village, to join the clan. So I give up Orochimaru, and you accept me into your clan. Stated Tayuya, her voice showing her distrust. Same with me, questioned Karen, who still hadn't moved from Naruto's side. Mostly. You will pledge your allegiance to Konoha, or if you will, to the Uzumaki clan, and you will be placed on probation. Stated Sarutobi. He was going to continue when an Anbu appeared in the room. Hokage-sama. Danzo reports that the proposal you made has been accepted. Stated the Anbu. That voice. Stated Naruto under his breath, but only Karen heard it. Thank you. Report to Danzo that I will be there momentarily. Stated Sarutobi. The Anbu nodded and shunshined from the room. Naruto, I must go. You are to get young to Yuya's answer and do what is necessary. Tenzo, if you would. Sarutobi and Tenzo left the room. The doctor, seeing the situation under control, left the room as well. Yuya continued to stay weary of Naruto. After all, he was the one who killed 5 of Orochimaru's favorite soldiers. Now he was offering her a seemingly peaceful life. Plus, with the way Karen was hanging off of him, it was easy to see he was a good person. I accept. What? Questioned Naruto. I accept your proposal. I know you're strong and you seem moral. Plus, if I try to go back to Orochimaru, I will just be killed anyway. Stated Yuya. At least this way I will stay with someone I know. Karen meanwhile looked at Naruto with a giddy smile and blush on her face. The decision isn't that hard when thinking about where we came from, and I assume that this offer comes with a clan home for us all. You can count me in. Karen stated as she hugged Naruto's arm. Okay, great, stated Naruto. Let's go talk to Inoichi and get you cleared. Next day, Hokage Tower. Jiraiya sat across from Hiruzen, his eyes trained on the eyes of his teacher and pseudo-father figure, his jaw dropped and hanging. Jiraiya, please close your mouth. Stated Sarutobi with a sly smile on his wrinkled face. You can't be serious. You want him to stay in the village. You want him to become part of a program that was discontinued at the end of the Third Great War. Stated Jiraiya. We had a deal. I was to take Naruto and train him until the predicted date that the Akatsuki would begin to move. He needs to be ready. I understand, Jiraiya, but that was before the board was reset. Stated Sarutobi. If it was just Akatsuki, then I would allow the training trip. But now with our alliance with Suna strained, Orochimaru interfering and no doubt targeting Naruto, and the attack on Naruto on our own soil, I cannot allow you to go. Jiraiya stared at Sarutobi for what seemed like hours, obviously running through his mind to think of what he could say to keep the upper hand. The only problem was the more he thought about it, the more it made sense. Let's say I agree to this plan. What exactly will he be doing? Later, Kumo sat at his desk, his eyes trained on the man in front of him. Some nondescript Chunin from the Cipher Division apparently had urgent news, though I doubted it was urgent enough to interrupt his power nap. I'm waiting, he said condescendingly. He hated it when his naps were interrupted. This scroll just came from an unknown messenger, but it includes an Odo bingo book, and a note to check page 36. The Chunin said quickly as he handed the book to his cage. The Raikage took the book from his hand and tried to open it to the referred to page, although his large hands made it difficult. Damn it, why do they make these things so damn small? If I ever find out who page 36 got it. Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto Uzumaki. Allegiance. Konohagakure, MT. Mayubaku. Rank. Special Jonin, Jinchuriki. Classification. A. Wanted for killing of 5 Odo Jonin, capture of a Jonin and a Genin, and intervention in several Odo operations. When cited, do not engage unless with several Jonin, has experience fighting groups of experienced shinobi. Skills. Speed and strength high Jonin, outstanding wind affinity, proficient in Kenjutsu, current owner and wielder of Kubikiribocho. Ninjutsu mid Jonin, Genjutsu low Jonin, Taijutsu low Jonin. Bio. Taught by Kakashi Hatake and Jiraiya of the Sannin, known as the Savior of Wave, apparently defeated Zabuza Momochi and gained his blade. Won his Chunin exams as a rookie, defeated Ikibi Jinchuriki in Sound Invasion, single-handedly killed all but one of the members of the Sound 4, as well as 2 other Jonin on the same mission. Note. Has fought Orochimaru twice and survived. Stared at the book, his eyes tracing the words again and again. Is this information accurate? I've run it by the Foreign Intelligence Division. They say that the events are accurate, but they have no intel on his skills. Stated the Chunin. Understandable. Search for any information you can on this ninja and bring it to me. Next morning, Naruto. Naruto sat at his table, eating a third bowl of chicken and vegetable ramen. Across from him sat an empty chair, the place Itachi had sat not even a day ago. All things considered, the last few days had gone well. He tested himself versus several strong opponents, he found 2 surviving members of his clan, and meet his half-brother, who himself was an S-class ninja just like his own parents. Naruto was pulled out of his musings when a bird began pecking at his window. Noticing it was a messenger bird, he opened the window, pulled the scroll off of the bird's leg and let the bird go, but not before the bird pecked at his hand and flew away. "Little as bird," mumbled Naruto as he unrolled the scroll and read it. "So the trial is today. Kiri, we are in danger of losing this war, and she went to go get help from Konoha?" questioned a short man. The woman he was talking about, Mei Terumi, the leader of the bloodline forces, had left 3 days ago to request help from the strongest village in the world, along with Ao, her second in command. "If she believes it's the best thing to do, then we should trust her. She's gotten us this far," stated a taller man, his headband covering his right eye. "You're a fool, best thing that could happen is if they kill her," state the short man, only to have a kunai stabbed into the top of his head. "Insubordination will not be tolerated." Courtroom, Konoha. Naruto arrived at the courtroom roughly 15 minutes later, fully dressed in his battle attire. Looking around the room, he saw several high-ranking Jonin, a few Chunin, including Shikamaru, and all the genin that had been on the mission to retrieve Sasuke. Naruto looked at the podium, currently empty as the council had yet to show up. He eyed Kakashi sitting next to Asuma in the witness pen, making eye contact. Kakashi and Asuma motioned him over. With nothing else to do, he made his way over. "When did you all get back?" questioned Naruto as sat next to his former sensei. "Last night. Thank you for stopping Sasuke from leaving," stated Kakashi quickly. "And I'd like to talk to you about some training after the trail. I was assigned a mission and I completed it. In truth, I'd have rather let him go. He's a spoiled brat that needs to have his ego checked," stated Naruto. "I hear you can use wind manipulation. I could use a training partner too," stated Asuma. "I'll see what I can do, but me and Jiraiya are supposed to be leaving next week," stated Naruto. "All arise for the council," stated the bailiff, who turned out to be Genma. Sarutobi, Danzo, Homura, and Kaharu entered the upper level of the podium, while the Anbu Commander Dragon, Jonin Commander Shikaku Nara and Jiraiya sat in the lower podium. As the rest of the council sat down, Sarutobi stood tall. "This trail is now called to order. Would each member of the council state their name and position?" Homura Mitokado, Advisor of Economic Affairs. Kaharu Udatane, Advisor of Civilian Affairs. Danzo Shimura, Advisor of Shinobi Affairs. Dragon, Anbu Commander. Shikaku Nara, Jonin Commander. Jiraiya of the Sannin, Head of Intelligence Division. Hiruzen Sarutobi, Sandaime Hokage. This court is now in session. This is the trial to decide the fate of the accused deserter, Sasuke Uchiha. This is a military-only hearing, so everything said here is not to be leaked to the public under penalty of death. Witnesses will come to the stand, present their testimony, answer questions, and the verdict will be decided based on this alone. Any defense the accused may have had no longer applies due to the treasonous nature of this trial. We will now have a listing of the crimes that were committed," stated Sarutobi as he sat down. "The counts are as follows. 1 count of desertion, 2 counts of attacking a superior officer, and 1 count of disobeying direct orders. Jiraiya, as you are the member of this council with the most knowledge of this case, would you please start?" Jiraiya leaned back and stood tall. 2 days ago, myself and my apprentice, Special Jonin Naruto Uzumaki were training at the Valley of the End when we received a report that Sasuke Uchiha had been reported missing. By the time they arrived at our location, he was sealed in a barrel, being moved by a group of sound shinobi. After my apprentice defeated the shinobi moving the barrel, a reinforcement made himself known, and attempted to regain possession of the crate. During the struggle, Sasuke Uchiha broke free of the barrel and attacked Naruto, resulting in the Uchiha's defeat, and subsequent capture by the reinforcements sent to us. Thank you Jiraiya. You may sit, stated Sarutobi. We will now hear the testimony of Kakashi Hatake, the accused Jonin sensei. Kakashi made his way to the witness box and sat down. During the Chunin exams, my team, including Sasuke Uchiha, was unfortunate enough to run into Orochimaru. The result of this run-in was Sasuke being marked by Orochimaru's cursed seal, which I sealed with a twin evil suppression seal as a temporary measure. After the finals of the Chunin, Sasuke became more withdrawn publicly as a result of his loss and injury to Gaara of the desert, and I made plans to have the seal reinforced due to the fact that he could have been hiding his feelings, but he left the village before that. Thank you Kakashi. Any questions counsel? I have one, stated Danzo. Had you noticed any questionable behavior before the cursed seal was applied? Sasuke has had an Avenger complex as long as I've known him, but other than a few statements and wanting to get stronger, it never affected his performance and had very rarely affected teamwork. Stated Kakashi. Alright. Any other questions? Questions Sarutobi. Seeing no one raised their hand, he continued. What do you believe is a proper punishment? Kakashi pondered for a moment. I know I am biased because I am his sensei, but I believe he should have the curse mark completely sealed and put on probation for 6 months, or until he shows change. Okay Kakashi, thank you. Next witness, Shikamaru Nara, Chunin. Shikamaru made his way to the stand, walking much straighter than usual as he moved to sit down. Myself and Chunin Shino Aburame were charged to lead a team to retrieve Sasuke Uchiha. Under our command were Genins Kiba Inuzuka, Neji Hyuga, Choji Akamichi, and Ino Yamanaka. The squad caught up to the target at the Valley of the End. When we got there, Sasuke Uchiha was still in the barrel, and Naruto was engaging an enemy swordsman. The young Nara paused for a yawn, which no one seemed surprised by, and continued. Sasuke later broke out of the barrel, threatened, and then challenged Naruto, was subsequently defeated and we captured him. Was Uchiha at any point in control? Questions Homura. Not that I was aware of. He fought like a beast most of the time. Stated Shikamaru. Very well. And your punishment? From what I've seen, the curse seal runs on chakra. Seal his chakra, remove the seal and put him on probation. Stated Shikamaru lazily. Any other questions? Good. Stated Sarutobi. You may sit down now Shikamaru. As Shikamaru quickly moved back to his seat, he noticed Naruto fidgeting in his seat. Would Naruto Uzumaki, Genin teammate of the accused, and the ninja who defeated him, please come to the stand? Stated Sarutobi. Naruto slowly made his way forward. Murmurs behind him didn't help his anxiety towards the situation. Last time he was in this room he only 6 years old. He took a deep breath to calm his nerves and sat down. Just like Jiraiya stated, we were camped at the Valley of the End when we were contacted on Sasuke's defection. I cut off the group that had escorted Sasuke out of the village and killed all but one, who is currently in Konoha's prison. After I killed them, backup arrived and during that battle, Sasuke escaped the barrel. I defeated Sasuke, killed the reinforcement and had Shikamaru and his team retrieve Sasuke while Jiraiya and myself dealt with the remaining threat. Stated Naruto. What was the other threat? Questioned Dragon. Orochimaru and his second in charge, Kabuto Yakushi, plus another shinobi under Orochimaru. The room gasped at the news, whether for that fact that Orochimaru was there himself, or that Naruto fought him, Naruto didn't know. What was the result of that altercation? Questioned Danzo. Like you don't know. Thought Naruto. I killed the third ninja and almost killed Kabuto, but Orochimaru intervened. Then Jiraiya almost killed Orochimaru, but he was stopped as well. Jiraiya, who possibly could stop you? Asked Kaharu. Jiraiya turned to her and said, we're getting off track. I'll tell you all later, and Sensei already knows. Are there any more questions for Naruto? No. Alright. Naruto, your punishment. Asked Sarutobi. Naruto turned to Sarutobi and smiled. Not his usually cheery smile. It was his prankster smile. Reassignment. From Team 7 under Kakashi Hatake, to Danzo Shimura for emotional and behavioral training. The room went dead as everyone either stared at Danzo or Naruto. How did you come to this, might I ask? Questioned Danzo, his face neural but his body rigid. I cannot afford Itachi coming after me. As a special Jonin, I have access to the Jonin section if the library. In it I found a book on the Third Great Shinobi War. It spoke of how our side benefited from black ops performed by our Anbu, specifically, those trained by Danzo. Trained in the ability to completely mask emotions and to never break under interrogation. Stated Naruto. If you can train Anbu to do that, it should be no problem to get Sasuke's emotions under control, which in turn should render all potential problems with the curse seal inert. Danzo and Sarutobi shared a look, one they had shared before. If they did this, they had to worry about Itachi coming back with questions about why Sasuke was placed under Danzo's command. But if they didn't, Sasuke would become a nightmare situation that even Itachi wouldn't want. That will be all, Naruto. The council will now decide the fate of Sasuke Uchiha. Genma, please bring in Sasuke Uchiha for his verdict. Iwa. Sitting at his desk, a short old man sat, filling out paperwork. This man was the third Tsuchikage, Onoki of the twin scales. Grandpa. Onoki sat up in his chair and looked to see his granddaughter, a newly promoted Chunin, holding a scroll and a small piece of paper. What do you need, Kuretsuchi? I'm busy. Namikaze had a son, shouted Kuretsuchi. I know this. And just like I told the council, there will be no ill will towards that boy for what his father did. You of all people should understand that. Now go back to work, you have an important position to fill. Courtroom, Konoha. Sasuke now sat in the defendant booth, hunched over, and gripping his shoulder. At the front of the room sat the council, Sasuke having returned from the Anbu Maximum Security Confinement Center. The room, full of murmurs and whispers, fell silent as Sarutobi stood. Sasuke Uchiha has been found guilty of the crime of desertion. He has also been found guilty of both counts of attacking a superior officer and the final count of disobeying a direct order. However, due to his curse mark clouding his mind, we must treat this as if it was unwilling act. Sasuke Uchiha had performed Shinobi of Konoha with some difficulty prior to his receiving the curse seal in his Chunin exam, but nothing that shows such blatant violations after this point in time. This shows that some degree of mental degradation and/or manipulation took place after this point. Therefore he shall not be put to death or have life imprisonment despite these being the normal punishments for the crime of desertion. His punishment will be, Sasuke Uchiha has been found guilty of the crime of desertion. He has also been found guilty of both counts of attacking a superior officer and the final count of disobeying a direct order. However, due to his curse mark clouding his mind, we must treat this as if it was unwilling act. Sasuke Uchiha had performed as a shinobi of Konoha with some difficulty prior to his receiving the curse seal in his Chunin exam, but nothing that shows such blatant violations after this point in time. This shows that some degree of mental degradation and/or manipulation took place after this point. Therefore he shall not be put to death or have life imprisonment despite these being the normal punishments for the crime of desertion. His punishment will be 1 year probation with no advancement, the curse mark will be sealed and he will be forced to undergo behavior modification training. As of today, Sasuke Uchiha has been removed from Genin Team 7 and placed in the reserves. Stated Sarutobi. This courtroom is adjourned. Genma, take him into custody. Council, to my chambers, along with Kakashi and Naruto. Interrogation Department. Alright, you both check out. You will have an Anbu escort for the next few months until you prove your loyalty. Stated Inoichi as he looked over some files. He looked up to see the two red-headed young women in his office. With a smile, he added, I wish you both luck. If you need a friend, I'm sure my daughter Ino would be more than happy to show you around the village. Thanks. But where will we be living? Does Shithead have a clan compound? Questioned Yuya. Who? Oh yes, Naruto. He doesn't have one yet. A clan cannot have a compound until they have at least 5 members. For now you will live in his house. Stated Inoichi with a smile. Naruto-kun has a house. But Orochimaru said that he was an orphan. Stated Karen. Who cares what the snake prick said? We're free as soon as the toad Sanin seals this. Stated to Yuya as she pointed at her neck. Indeed. Now I must ask you to go now. I'm very busy. If you want a tour of the village, go to the flower shop on the main road. Hokage Chambers. The Hokage, along with his advisors, sat in the meeting chambers that was attached to the Hokage's office. Jiraiya, Shikaku, Dragon, and Danzo sat across from them, with Kakashi and Naruto sitting at a side table. Might I ask what this is about? Questioned Shikaku. I assume this is about the Uchiha's punishment. Stated Dragon. Partially. Sasuke will need emotional conditioning to control the mark, just like Anko had. Stated Sarutobi. However, this meeting is to be about the reformation of the Department of Homeland Security. Surely you're joking, Hiruzen. There's a reason that department was disbanded at the end of the Third Great War. Stated Homura. It was dismantled because the Uchiha were doing a good job. Now they are gone. Stated Danzo. The invasion only proved that tighter watch is needed. If it had been Iwa or Kumo, even Kiri, we may not be here to discuss this. Danzo has a good point. Stated Jiraiya, gaining shocked looks from most of the room. My spy network is focused outside of the country. The only reason I have any spies here is because it's the last line of defense. Homeland security would be a huge boon to village defense, and get the younger generation directly involved in the defense of the village. Perhaps it's not a bad idea. Stated Kaharu. We have a large amount of missions coming in from the surrounding area for bandit camps and other small movements that shouldn't happen. Plus they could act as a police force. Exactly. And I already have a tactician in mind, as well as 2 squads and commander. Stated Sarutobi. The Anbu can filter new recruits through as well as if they want to retire back to the regular forces. Dragon nodded. Indeed, I have several members that wish to retire, and many that would benefit from a small stint in a lower stress, high training unit. I assume that's why we're here. Questioned Kakashi. I have experience in this kind of work, and Naruto is the newest and possibly strongest special Jonin. I assume I am to be the commander and Naruto a squad leader. Correct, Kakashi. Naruto, along with the other squad leaders, will all be special Jonin. Under them will be Chunin, and if we find special cases amongst Genin, they too will be part of the teams. Stated Hiruzen. Also, there will be a team of Anbu assigned to HLS. They will be assigned to the highest threat levels. The only problem I see is that it may conflict with other departments. Stated Shikaku. There will always be overlapping issues, but with Homeland Security being directly under me as Anbu, it should be kept to a minimum. Stated Sarutobi. I want this program running in the next 48 hours. You may use the north wing of the defense hall. Kakashi and Danzo, you will set up the squads other than squads 1 and 2. After that, prepare the training regiments. Shikaku, for the foreseeable future, you will be teaching your son his new position. Dragon, tell your men and women of this, as all are welcome, and prepare the unit for the program. Kaharu and Homura, please allocate the funds from the village treasury and if necessary inform me on any shortages we might have so I may make a formal request for more to the daimyo. Naruto, you take the stack of folders on the desk and review them. Alert those people to be at the defense hall in 2 days' time, 7 a.m. sharp. Kumo. 2 young white blonde women stood in front of the rakeage. The on the left, an 18-year-old kunoichi with long blonde hair taped into a ponytail, she had sharp blue slitted eyes and was wearing a blue and black jumpsuit with a Kumo Chunin vest. On the right, a 14-year-old kunoichi with short blonde hair that came to just under her chin and piercing blue eyes, she wore a brown shirt and black skirt that did nothing to hide her well-conditioned body. You both understand that I hold nothing against you. You are just the perfect match to him. Yugito and him are both Jinchuriki and Samui is the same age, plus a fellow Kenjutsu protege. Stated A. The rakeage from behind his desk. Minato was the worst thing that ever happened to Aiwa. We must ensure that his son does not do the same to us. I understand the mission, stated Yugito. As do I, stated Samui. Again, I am sorry, if there were better fits for this mission, I would not send you. Stated A before taking a deep breath. I've already sent the letter. You are to go to Konoha under the guise of another peace treaty. Your official job is to ensure that there is no hostility towards Kumo. Once established, you will seduce Naruto Uzumaki and ensure he does not become a threat to Kumo. I will come once you have established that there is no hostility. Half an hour later, Namikaze residence. Haku. Naruto sat at his kitchen table, wiping his nose and reviewing the folders that the old man had given him. Gotta hand it to him. These teams should be great together, though I don't think it's a good idea to put her with him. Oh well. Naruto got up, placed his Jonin vest on and sheathed his sword on his back. He sealed the folders into a scroll and hopped out the window. Konoha Veterinary Clinic. Naruto walked into the front office of the vet's office, and almost immediately found who he was looking for. Sitting at the front desk was none other than Hana Inuzuka. Welcome, how can I help you? She asked, her gaze locked onto the special Jonin across from her. Who is this? A Yamanaka. He looks too young to be a Jonin, hell he's only about Kiba's age. Holy shit, that's Uzumaki. Yes you can, the Hokage asked me to deliver your new assignment. You are to report to the north wing of the defense hall in 2 days' time, 7 a.m. sharp. Stated Naruto with a smile. I'm being reassigned, but I've always been a medic. Stated Hana quietly, but much to her surprise, he heard her. I can tell you that you'll still be a medic, though I don't think it's for animals. See you then Hana, stated Naruto as he turned to leave. Wait, shouted Hana, who breathed a sigh of relief as the blonde turned around and looked at her questioningly. You're Naruto Uzumaki, aren't you? The one who defeated Tsuna's Jinchuriki during the Chunin exam? Yes, that's me, stated Naruto with his heart-melting foxy grin. Can I help you? Hana found herself blushing from the intense smile. Oh, I just remembered Kiba talking about you when you were in the academy. You know, blushing really doesn't suit you, stated Naruto with another smile. See you soon Hana. Haruno residence. Sitting at the table with her mother, Sakura was amazed to hear the stories of what her mother and father had done in the Third Great War. Did you really fight alongside Kakashi-sensei? Questioned Sakura. Yes, but even better, I fought alongside the Yellow Flash himself. Stated Mebuki proudly. Your father actually fought alongside him twice. But he doesn't like talking about it, the second time he fought with him was when he was injured. Wow, I never knew that. I thought it would be in a history book or something. Sakura was taken out of her musings when a knock at the door sounded through the house. Not everything is written down Sakura, now go get the door, going by the chakra, it's your blonde teammate. Stated Mibuki with a smile, but as she turned away, the smile fell slightly. Kushina senpai, forgive us. Sakura got up and walked to the door. I wonder what Naruto is doing here. Wasn't Sasuke's trial this morning? Sakura banished those thoughts from her head, it wouldn't help to forget about him if she kept thinking about him. She opened the door to see Naruto looking down at her. Oh, wow, he's gotten taller. Hi Sakura, I actually came to talk to your mother, but I need to talk to you too. Can I come in? Stated Naruto cheerily. Sakura didn't have a chance to respond as Mebuki moved behind her. Hello Naruto, the Jonin jacket looks good on you. Come on in. Thank you, stated Naruto as he moved past the door and into the kitchen. Sakura, me, and Kakashi have been assigned to a new division, so Team 7 has been officially disbanded. If you want, I've asked a friend to help you train until you're reassigned. Sakura sat still for a second. So Kakashi-sensei won't be my sensei anymore. Well, of course he will. Just like Iruka-sensei will always be your sensei. That reminds me, I need to see Iruka today. Anyway, Kakashi and I would be happy to train with you when we have free time. Stated Naruto. If you want the training, go to training ground 35 in 2 days. Sakura slowly smiled, her eyes getting misty. Thank you, Naruto. But what do you need my mom for? Oh yeah, Mrs. Haruno. Stated Naruto as he unsealed a folder and handed it to her. You've been reassigned. You are to report to the north wing of the defense hall at 7 in the morning, 2 days from now. Mebuki took the folder and looked it over. Guess I better start training again. Thank you, Naruto. Will you stay for tea? I gotta go deliver the rest of these, but maybe some other time. See ya, Sakura, Mrs. Haruno. Unknown. You have exposed us needlessly. I would like you to explain why Zetsu reported that you actually spared Orochimaru's life instead of letting Jiraiya kill him. Stated Pain in his deep monotone voice. Itachi, as well as Kisame and Sasori stood as holograms on the fingertips of a great statue. If I had let Jiraiya kill Orochimaru, there was a chance that the Kyuubi Jinchuriki could also be killed. We know that Orochimaru has several fail-safes to his own plans in place, so I would not put it past him to have a death-triggered seal. Also, if Orochimaru perishes, we lose the last ring. The ring is bound to the soul of the wearer and can only be reprogrammed if the ring is given. Stated Itachi. The gruff voice of Sasori spoke next. Both Suna and Iwa spend a large portion of their resources on tracking Orochimaru. If he were to die, they may change their focus to us. I believe Itachi made the right decision in this specific case, but we shouldn't put it past Orochimaru to not change the directions of his own goals. Whatever he may want with Sasuke Uchiha is likely well out of his reach now from what my own spies can gather, and the Kyuubi is strong. Orochimaru is not to be underestimated, and I'd bet everything this organization has that the Kyuubi may well be in his eyes for some reason or another. Pain stood silent for a moment, staring at Itachi with unwavering eyes. Very well. Your actions, while risky, will help us tremendously in the years to come. This is a warning, do not cross my orders again. Forest of Death. Enko was sitting high in a tree near the tower in the center of the forest, when a person flickered in front of her. What do you want, Danzo? Impudent as ever. I came to tell you that you will once again be working for me. Stated Danzo slowly. He watched as her shoulders sagged. Not en route. Sarutobi has devised a revision of the Homeland Security Department. You are to be a team captain. Danzo reached into his robe, removed 2 folders and handed them to Anko. The first folder is your assignment from Sarutobi, including those that will work under you. The second folder contains your assignment from me. Be sure you do not disappoint me again. And with that, Danzo disappeared into the foliage. Anko looked over the second folder, her eyes widened when she saw the subject. What does he want with that kid? Main Street, flower shop. Karen and Tayuya walked into the Yamanaka flower shop and found themselves mesmerized. Wow, so many colors. I didn't know half of these existed, stated Karen. You're from fucking grass country and you've never seen green before? Questioned Tayuya. Shut up, Tayuya. I assume my father sent you. Both redheads spun around to see a blonde girl, around their age, staring expectantly at them. He said you were coming. Let me properly introduce myself. I'm Ino Yamanaka. I'm Tayuya and this is Karen. Stated Tayuya quickly. Mind showing us around the village? If I'm going to live in this place, might as well know where the fuck everything is. Aburame compound. Shino sat across from his father's desk in the clan office. His father, Shibi, was silently shifting papers around in front him. I understand your promotion has opened doors for you. Be sure to use as many of them as possible. Now that you are a Chunin, you cannot afford to hide your skills. Shino nodded. I believe I have already opened a door. My old classmate, Naruto, is very powerful. After seeing him fight, I wish to train with him. Shibi shook his head. The skills you've seen young Naruto use, Many of them take years to learn, others are impossible for you. You will never be able to replicate the speed and strength that he achieves, and your chakra will never be as potent or vast. Shino once again nodded. That is true, but his taijutsu and kenjutsu skills can be learned. His taijutsu and kenjutsu are products of his personal strengths. The forms may be learned, but the skills necessary to use them in the way he does is too high. Stated Shibi, but his head rose as he felt a presence. He is here. Let us go meet him. Hokage Tower. Jiraiya once again sat across the desk from his old sensei. Jiraiya for once had a straight face, while Sarutobi was grinning like mad. You do realize that this is an enormous risk. If the brat sides with Danzo, Danzo will gain the civilians' support. Stated Jiraiya. Plus if Itachi finds out that Danzo is training his little brother, then we're all doomed. But that's just it. Sasuke has traitorous tendencies. I have no doubt he will be an unwilling spy for us against Danzo. And he's already tried to leave the village once. If he tries while under Danzo's care, then it will be over. Danzo will be seen as the one who sent him away. Smiled Sarutobi. And what if the kid turns out right and Danzo is looked at as the mentor of the last Uchiha? Questioned Jiraiya. Even better. I unload the talented and troubled ninja on Danzo and he doesn't get the free time to try anything. Stated Sarutobi. And having Naruto serve under him. Granted Kakashi will act as a shield, but Danzo will have all the access in the world to the Gaki. Stated Jiraiya. Yes. He will. And that is perfect. Stated Sarutobi with a grin. Tell me Jiraiya, if Danzo was just a bit less ruthless or war-hungry and could actually connect with people, would he make a good Hokage? You want the brat to rub off on Danzo so he can be Hokage? That's insane. Shouted Jiraiya. You're going to put Minato's son next to that man who is the reason he was hated as child and hope Naruto makes him a better person. Jiraiya, I have no intention of making Danzo a better person. But Naruto on the other hand, he needs to see the darkness of this world, and Danzo is going to be just the person to show him. Streets of Konoha. Thank you for getting me out of the shop. I'd rather be outside or training than watching the store. Stated Ino. She looks to the girls walking alongside her. Daddy says you're staying with Naruto-kun. So you like him too? Stated to Yuya as she motioned to Karen. This one is wet in the loins for him. I'm not surprised. Naruto-kun is so hot now. Plus he's really strong and to be truly honest, he's just always been nice to me. Stated Ino. So how you both like Konoha? Nicest shithole I've ever been in. Plus there are a lot of other ninja to learn from. Stated to Yuya. Other than having to live with shithead, I like it already. It's really nice. I've never felt this many strong and kind chakra signatures. Stated Karen. Oh, I bet that one is hot. Main gate. Azumo and Katetsu were once again sitting at the main gate of the village, also known as the North Gate. I know it's supposed to be a great honor to be a gate guard, but this is just sad. Stated Katetsu. Yeah, it would be nice of the old man to reassign you both. The guards turned around to see Naruto leaning against the back wall of the guard's hut. Hey Naruto, don't tell Hokage-sama we said that. Please. Stated Azumo. No need. Stated a grinning Naruto as he unsealed a pair of folders and handed one of them to each guard. You've already been reassigned. You both need to show up to the north wing of Defense Hall at 7 a.m., 2 days from now. Until then you're free to do whatever, after your current shift is over though. So you won't tell Hokage-sama? Questioned Katetsu. No, I have more important stuff to do. See ya later. Stated Naruto with a smile as he walked out of the guard's hut. We're gonna be reassigned. Why did he change his mind? Nara compound. Hey Shikamaru. Wake up. Said Nara jumped skyward, as did Choji who was sitting next to him. Damn it Naruto, that was a troublesome way to wake me up. Stated Shikamaru as he sat up and rubbed his eyes. You say troublesome a lot. Anyway I have news. Stated Naruto. Yay. The author is lazy, and it seems like something I'd say. Stated Shikamaru. Naruto and Choji looked at him strangely. I'm too smart for my own good. Anyway, what is it? Am I not going to be on Team 10 anymore? Nope. You both are to report to the north wing of the defense hall in 2 days for reassignment, 6 a.m. sharp. Stated Naruto with a smile. The defense building. Are we being recruited by Anbu? Questioned Choji. Dad said that the defense building is for the Anbu and torture and interrogation departments. Not to Anbu, but you'll see soon. See ya both there. Gotta deliver the rest of these. Stated Naruto as he disappeared from view. 10 minutes later, Ichiraku Ramen. Still the best Hyuki. Stated Naruto with a smile while devouring his third bowl. Thanks for adding in all the steamed vegetables and meat. This way I can eat here all the time and still get my nutrition. Well, you did give us half our annual income to add that bowl to the menu. Stated Ayame. You're basically part owner. Nah, just a huge fan. Stated Naruto as he grabbed the next bowl and started eating. It would make sense. Your parents tried to buy this place several times. Stated a low voice behind Naruto. Sandame-sama. Stated Ayame. Hey old man, how's your end coming? Stated Naruto, his face still buried in his bowl. My end is moving as scheduled. I'll have a large bowl of Demon of the Hidden Leaf. Stated Sarutobi with a smile while Tyuki began making the meal. Quite the name. I believe it's named after a young ninja in the village. Oh really? Never heard of him. Stated Naruto with a smile. I hear he's recently bought the golden leaf. Just a rumor though. Stated Sarutobi, who got his bowl and began eating. How's your end coming along? Who knows? I've met with all but 2 of them, none seem to be looking forward to the reassignment. Stated Naruto as he finished his last bowl. I don't think my team is balanced. Both myself and my medic are close-range ninja and the other 2 are both mid-range ninja. I haven't met my support ninja yet, but overall my team seems like it's specialized to fight. That's because it is. Enko's team is the recon team, yours shall be a response and reaction team. Stated Sarutobi. I believe you forgot a folder in my office. Make sure you look it over, it's recently updated. This is now your 5th teammate. You should have no problem finding them. Naruto didn't bother looking at the contents of the folder as he placed it into his vest. I think it's about time you retire, old man. Oh, and why do you say that, Naruto-kun? I did just beat a fellow Kage in combat. Stated Sarutobi. Chakra decay usually happens around 70, right? Stated Naruto, his voice holding sadness. Sarutobi instantly understood what Naruto was talking about. So Jiraiya told you. I still have a few years left, my boy, though I do need a new sparring partner. Main gate. What do you think the new assignment is? Asked Katetsu. Well, if we're going to the defense building, it's probably a security job. Stayed Izumo. Am I interrupting something? Both men looked up from their folders to see a beautiful redhead and a blue-haired man with an eye patch. Sorry, we were discussing a private matter. Names, ranks, and reason for visit. Stated Izumo. The redhead looked annoyed and stated. Mei Terumi, Jonin, Ao, Jonin. Here to see your Hokage to request support. Katetsu's eyes widened before quickly signaling the Anbu that was watching the gate. Foreign ambassadors, Hunter Nin Ao. In a moment a squad of Anbu were around the 2 ninja. Konoha's famous Anbu. Stated Ao. We will escort you to the Hokage. Hyuga compound. Usually, the guards outside of the Hyuga compound show little to no emotion, though it was rumored that they sometimes play tricks on passers-by. Today was not the norm. Especially when Anko Mitarashi walks up to the gate with her scary grin and asks nicely to see Neji Hyuga. Of course the Hyuga tried to cancel the genjutsu they thought someone was using, even going so far to activate their Byakugan, and stare at the snake summoner, only to realize that she was in fact there. Hello, Earth to Hyuga, shouted Anko before she adopted a smirk very similar to a certain blonde. Do you boys like what you see? It's kinda kinky, you two looking at me with those eyes. Makes me happy I didn't wear a bra. Or panties. In an instant both Hyuga passed out from sensory overload. Anko took that as her cue to enter the compound. Perverts. Every single one is a pervert. Maybe I should ask the brat about that anti-pervert technique of his. Next day, Hokage's office. I am sorry we could not meet yesterday, I had far too much I needed to do. Stated Sarutobi as he leaned forward in his chair, making sure to flex his chakra. Mei and Ao sat in the surprisingly comfortable chairs across from the Sandaime Hokage. Neither wanted to be the first to speak, as the oppressive aura around the elder Hokage was almost suffocating them. So you come to my village in hopes that I will assist you in your civil war. A war that holds no personal stake in my village's future. Stated the Sandaime in an almost bored tone. Why yes Hokage-sama. Stated Ao, even though he had fought countless battles, he had never experienced anything like the charka that the legendary professors possessed. I see. And why come to Konoha? Surely Kumo would be more inclined to help you. Stated Sarutobi. They probably heard about Naruto-kun. Well, historically, Konoha has a better history of winning wars. Stated Mei. It was also I who let Naruto-san keep the Kubikiribocho, along with a scroll containing several high-ranking water jutsu. I see. Thank you for that, but I still don't see how it's Konoha's problem. Stated Sarutobi with a hidden smile. He really did owe the woman across from him, but he could not put his village into a war that they had no business in. I forgot how much fun it is to let my chakra loose. The anti-bloodline side is currently negotiating with Iwa. We need a stronger village to back us to stand a chance. I am not asking for a full alliance, but we are running low on supplies, and that hinders our efforts. Stated Ao, hoping that the Hokage would bite. Supplies are of no consequence. If that's all you're after, we would be happy to assist you. As a heavy supporter of bloodlines in shinobi villages, we do feel your plight, but I know the leader and co-leader of the bloodline faction did not travel from the most remote village to ask for supplies. Stated Sarutobi. Mei sighed. The Hokage was as sharp as everyone said. Everyone knows of your village's success in defeating Biju. Your founders could both control them. You've housed the Kyuubi very successfully for almost the entire duration of the village's history, and both your Yondaime and apparently Naruto have both defeated rampaging beasts. You need a counter to Yagura. Stated Sarutobi with pity. It will not be as simple as giving you a seal or even a seal master. He has full control of his Biju. You will need lightning users to counter his water style, and last of all, you will need a Jinchuriki. We understand that there have been several people that could fight a Biju. Why specifically do we need a Jinchuriki? Questioned Ao. Because while extraordinary ninja like my successor, the third Raikage, and Onoki could hold their own against tailed beasts, fighting a Jinchuriki is far different. If they have full control of their beast's chakra, as Yagura does, then you need a Jinchuriki with the same amount of control with a stronger beast. Unless you posse's a ninja that can render his jutsu and chakra inert. Stated Sarutobi. So that's why you say lightning users, they could counter the water jutsu, through earth users would be more effective. Stated Mei. Indeed, but lightning is a more offensive element, and the Sanbi has great defenses. Stated Sarutobi. Unfortunately, both of my Jinchuriki experts are indisposed. Until they become available, you can stay either in the hotel, or in the Uzumaki clan house. Defense Building, North Wing. Naruto sat in the back corner of the lecture-style room. More than half of the people that he had contacted were already there, though no one from his class had showed up besides Shino, who was sitting on the other side of the room, strangely enough, next to Tayuya. He was taken from his thoughts as Shikamaru and Choji moved into the room, Neji following behind as they all sat down. Good. I knew Shikamaru would be lazy. He must have been here earlier and stepped out to do some cloud watching. Not a moment later, Kakashi and Danzo appeared. Get to your seats, we don't have time to waste. Stated Danzo as the two groups of Anbu appeared, taking seats in the middle of the room. Good. Now that we are all here. Kakashi. You were all assigned to this post by the Hokage. In each one of you he has placed his utmost confidence that you will be this village's first line of defense. Stated Kakashi seriously, his tone and posture that of an Anbu commander. It is with great care that I welcome all of you to the newly reformed Homeland Security Department. Danzo, not giving a moment's rest, continued. This department will be responsible for the security of the village, from enemies both foreign and domestic. Konoha has become lackadaisical in its defenses, and the Sand and Sound invasion proved it. With our only ally now a potential enemy, we must be ever more defensive. As the reformation of the department, your groups will be vital in the securing of our borders as well as our forces. Stated Kakashi. Teams will lose and gain members frequently. New teams will be established to meet department needs and will be needed as a moment's notice. Team 1, our primary assault squad, will be Naruto Uzumaki as leader, along with Shino Aburame, Choji Akamichi, Hana Inazuka and Tayuya Uzumaki. Team 2, our primary recon team will be Anko Mitarashi as leader, Neji Hyuga, Mebuki Haruno, Azumo and Katetsu. Stated Danzo before he took a deep breath. Teams 3 and 4 will be used as we see fit, and will be made up of Anbu and Anbu trainees. Team 5 is the intelligence division, made up of Shiho, Shikamaru Nara and temporarily Shikaku Nara. Your first missions will be handed out later today. I advise you meet with your teams and build as much rapport with them as possible. Stated Kakashi. Also, be sure to eat, some of these missions are not within the village. Break room, defense building. Sitting around one table, Team 1 eyed each other carefully while they are out of bentos provided by the division. The silence was thick, none of them had experience working with each other, only Shino had experience with Hana, as she trained with Team Kurenai once in a while. Not liking the silence, Naruto spoke up. Alright, since I hate silence, and I'm your new leader, I want each of you to tell your name, likes, dislikes, list of skills and why you think you were put on this team. Stated Naruto with a big smile, then looked to Tayuya, who was across from him. Tayuya, getting the hint, spoke up. Fuck it. My name is Tayuya. I am formerly a member of Orochimaru's Sound 4, I've had seals placed on me to ensure my loyalty. I like swearing, my summons, genjutsu and guess I'm starting to like this shithole. I dislike authority, Orochimaru and his fuck buddy Kabuto, how much shit costs here and how loud that shithead snores. Stated Tayuya while pointing at Naruto, who grinned sheepishly. My skills are in genjutsu and my summons, I use the sound of my flute to control both, sometimes at the same time. I have little skill in taijutsu or in ninjutsu. I guess I was placed on this team because shithead will keep me in line, and to be the long-range support. My name is Choji Akamaiki, my likes are food, my friends, my family and training. My dislikes are the word fat, not having food and being in a crowded rooms. My skills are in taijutsu with my clan ninjutsu, and I'm decent at breaking genjutsu. I think I was placed on this squad to be a short to mid-range fighter. I am Shino Aburame, I like bugs, I dislike fire and bug spray. My skills are in information gathering, mid-range fighting and communication. I believe I was put on this team to be a mid-range fighter. Hana Inazuka, I like my dogs, my clan, and fighting. I dislike cats, cockiness, people who hurt animals, and stupidity. My skills are in taijutsu and medical ninjutsu. I believe I was put on this team to be a medic. Naruto smiled. Good, you all did good, our first mission will most likely be to clean out a bandit camp in northern Fire Country. Pervy Sage said they have ties to Kumo, but I think it's just speculation. Do you always refer to Jiraiya-sama so disrespectfully? Questioned Hana. I know he's your master, but you really should respect him. I respect him as much, if not more than I respect anyone else. His vice is perving on woman, so I call him Pervy Sage. When it's a serious matter I refer to him by name, but not if it's just us. Stated Naruto. Oh yay, I'm Naruto Uzumaki, I like ramen, my senseis, my village, and training, I dislike arrogance, waiting for ramen, and people that discriminate. My skills are in kenjutsu and ninjutsu, though I've been working on taijutsu and fuinjutsu. I was placed on this team to teach you and improve your weak points. Huh. Question to Yuya. How the fuck are you going to do that? Easy. I specialize in areas that you all lack. Choji, you need to incorporate more varied ninjutsu to bolster your taijutsu style. Hana, you have no ninjutsu either, not counting clan techniques. To Yuya, I kicked your ass, so I know you have no taijutsu and ninjutsu. And Shino, actually, you're relatively balanced, but that just means that you need help in everything. Stated Naruto with a smile. Eventually, you should each take over your own team. As you get promoted, new members will take empty places. Everyone will help everyone train. Hold up. You said that we help each other train. Do you mean that we share jutsu? Questioned Choji. Not if you don't want to. I won't force anything. But say Shino wants to increase his taijutsu, he could partner up with me, Hana or Choji. If Tayuya wants to increase her ninjutsu, she could work with me or Shino. Stated Naruto. Also, there will be no hiding skill in this team. When we train or do missions, it's full go. If there's a jutsu or something that's a last resort, that's fine, but don't hold back. Beep beep beep. Let's head back. I'm sure Sensei and Danzo have some big speech planned. Main room. As you all have gathered by now, the village is weak. We have no police force, our boarders have no merit, and our ninja have been dropping off in skill. Each of your teams will do a week every month of police duty. On top of that, you will be assigned tasks that could take hours, or months. Stated Danzo, getting several odd looks. Team 1, your first mission is to kill all bandits in a camp in the northern sector of the Land of Fire. Team 2, you are to scout the area surrounding the village, there are rumors of an outpost near our walls. Team 3, you're on police duty, Tenzo will lead you. Team 4, you are on reserve until the next orders come. Team 5, you are to take these files and study them, they are the new evacuation strategies. Team leaders, grab the assignments and move out. Stated Kakashi with an eye smile. Main gate. Naruto stood with his back to the gate, his team in front of him. He took a moment to gather his thoughts, though he imagined that he probably looked badass with his cloak fluttering in the wind and his sword on his back. Alright. This is ranked as high B rank. Latest report is a Kumo missing nin, one from Iwa and one from Konoha. They are all C rank shinobi, and the one from Konoha defected in the days after the Kyuubi attack. Stated Naruto. We will decide responsibilities when we get there. I have a personal mission along with this mission, and I will be departing after we clear out the bandit camp. What formation should we use? It will be odd with 5 of us. Stated Shino. I was getting to that. Stated Naruto, his eye twitching. Single file, Choji in front to defend against surprise attacks. Shino, you're right behind him, you two will be partnered up for this mission. Hana, you're behind me, that way you can tell me if you smell anything, and the triplets can cover Tayuya, who will be behind you. I like it. I can provide long-range support for those two, and I'm still close enough to shithead to hear orders. Stated Tayuya. Choji's sweat dropped before turning to Shino. I don't have any sensory helpers, can you use your insects to scout? Shino simply nodded. Alright, it's a 3-hour run, let's get moving. Undisclosed meeting room. Kakashi and Danzo sat across the table from each other, Kakashi a mirror image of the old war hawk, right down to the implanted Sharingan eye that unknowingly satires at each other. What's your ploy? Lord Hokage hadn't trusted you since you sent me to kill him 10 years ago. It's because he doesn't trust me that he put me in charge of this division. Stated Danzo, his gaze matching Kakashi's perfectly. He knows I will be too occupied to continue my work. Along with attempting to fix your failure as a sensei. Kakashi didn't show it, but that statement cut deep. It was your failure. Sasuke was tainted by your counsel long before I was set to be his sensei. You catered to his every whim. You must have understood what that does to someone. It makes them weak, which would keep him in the village. Stated Danzo. It made him selfish, putting himself before everyone else. It made him traitorous. Stated Kakashi. My methods have worked for all but 2 ninja. That hardly constitutes failure, stated Danzo. And those 2 ninja left the village, stated Kakashi. I do not speak of Itachi. Itachi did exactly what was expected of him, nothing more, nothing less, stated Danzo. Then who do you speak of? Sasuke and who? Questioned Kakashi. The boy's father, stated Danzo. I will not allow another talent to be wasted in this village. His son will reach his maximum potential, and I will do everything in my power to make sure he serves Konoha well. Kakashi frowned. Fugaku was never associated with Root, or with Danzo. Suddenly Kakashi realized that the boy in question wasn't Sasuke, which only left one option. Sensei. Northern Bandit Camp. Tactical meetings never sat well with Naruto. The final plan was always predictable. Unless Shikamaru was planning, then the final plan was never truly finalized, not until the fight was over. The last tactical meeting Naruto had was with Jiraiya right before he fought of the Sound Four, and even with the enigmatic Sannin in charge, the result was still a predictable, but solid strategy. The battles afterward however never end up predictable, and therein lies his personal problems with tactical meetings. That's why as his team sat at the edge of the clearing, he began to formulate a plan that had his brand of randomness. Alright, what can you tell me, Shino? How many? Asked Naruto as he stood beside the bug user. 75. All but 6 are academy student level of chakra. 3 genin level, 2 chunin level and 1 is at high jonin level. That one feels like you, stated Shino. You mean a Jinchuriki? Questioned Naruto as he got the rest of the group's attention. I believe she is a wind user, though she does not match the scent of the rest of the bandits. She is in the middle of the camp, stated Shino. She does have an odd chakra though. You talk a lot more than your file indicates. Good. I hate silence, stated Naruto before turning to his team. You are all Chunin level or higher. I expect you to all be able to take on your assigned tasks. They all nodded. There's a change of plans. Choji and Tayuya, you will work together to hold off the weakest of them. Shino and Hana, you will take out the 3 genin and the chunin. Shino knows which is which. Naruto took a deep breath and looked across the clearing. I'm going to take out high jonin. If Shino is right, then I'm the only one that can. Choji, Tayuya, aim to kill. Hana and Shino, incapacitate. There's probably 1 or 2 that have bounties. If you identify the one from Konoha, kill him. Border of rice and land of fire. Itachi stood before a rather elegant door debating whether or not to knock. Kisame was in a nearby town, restocking supplies for the next few months. I sense you. Get yours in here, shouted a voice from inside the home Itachi was standing in front of. I'm in the back room. Itachi walked into the house and began his rather long walk through the decorated house. It always struck him as odd that such a loud and violent person lived in such a nice home, but given her husband was the son of Hiruzen Sarutobi, it made sense. Itachi walked into the back room, seeing the person he was looking for already sitting behind a medical table. About time you got here, Itachi. You're 3 days late for your checkup. You better pray to God it hasn't gotten worse, or I'll kill you myself. Yes, Kono-sensei. Training Field 3. Sakura stood in the middle of the training field, her mind on what her potential sensei could be like. So, said a voice behind Sakura, startling her. On instinct she jumped away, drawing a kunai. Well, at least you passed the first test. Now that Sakura saw the Anbu, she saw that this Anbu was female, long purple hair and a sword on her back. Are you the one Naruto told me about? Yes. Though I am slightly surprised. His description of you seems a bit off. But let's not focus on that. I am doing this as a favor. If at any point you show me that you don't have what it takes, I will discontinue my teachings, stated the Anbu. I understand, was all Sakura could say, afraid of upsetting the Anbu. Good. I've already reviewed your file. Your basics are solid, nothing extraordinary. I also saw you have near perfect chakra control. Let's put that to the test. Team 1. Mass chaos ruled the area as Team 1 laid waste to the bandit camp. It hadn't been a minute and almost all the occupants were already dead. Hana and Shino proved to be a devastating pair as Shino called out the target and began stealing their chakra. Hana and the triplets would ruthlessly take them down. Choji and Tayuya were the same. Tayuya would trap the targets in a genjutsu and Choji would mow them down. Naruto was actually quite shocked at the plump boy's fighting style. He was rather shy and timid, but he was almost exceedingly violent while fighting, even for an Akamichi. Now Naruto moved to his target, the High Jonin signature moved toward him at a sedated pace. Stopping to prepare, Naruto channeled a slight amount of Kyuubi's chakra. "What's happening?" asked a tired-sounding Kurama. "More training. Have you been asleep this whole time?" shouted Naruto in his mind. "What else am I supposed to do? You gave me a tree to sleep under," stated Kurama. "Oh, the Jinchuriki of Chome. She's a wind type. She's the Jinchuriki?" questioned Naruto as he watched said girl land in front of him. "Huh, I'm not even here a full week and I find the one I'm looking for," stated the dark-skinned, green-haired girl. "My name's Fu, and you're the one that got me kicked out of my village. The mission request says you left. I was actually supposed to meet up with Jiraiya after I'm done here to find you," stated Naruto as he pulled his sword off his back. "Will you please come with me? I really don't want to hurt you." "You hurt me," laughed Fu as she stared at Naruto with hate in her eyes. "I don't care if you can use your Biju's power. As far as I'm concerned, you're nothing to me, Naruto Uzumaki. I was banished because the council was afraid I would turn out like you." Suddenly, Fu began to glow a dark red. "My Biju gives me the strength to match cages. And they were afraid of you. Funny. 'Cause they should fear me way more than they fear you." Just as suddenly, golden chakra exploded off of Naruto. "The Nanabi gives you strength, you say? While my partner gives me a hell of a lot more than that." Having enough of the blonde's talk, Fu rushed forward, her arm drawn back. Naruto had to admit, she was pretty fast, low Jonin. But he was at 30% flow rate, and she looked like she was in slow motion. Just as Fu was about to connect with a vicious punch, Naruto disappeared. Fu's eyes widened as her brain registered what just happened. He had moved faster than she could keep track of. She didn't have much time to think as Naruto reappeared next to her, holding his sword with both hands as he swung at her, solidly smashing her with the broad side of the sword across her face, sending her rocketing through tents and trees until she came to a stop about 500 feet away, her chakra cloak receding. "Man, I didn't mean to hit her that hard," stated Naruto as he and everyone else in the camp stared at the path of destruction the young Jinchuriki's body made. "If that's 30%, what's 100? 30 puts you on par with the Nanabi. A Jinchuriki usually can use more than half of their beast power in that stage. Our arrangement allows you to use all that you can handle. You just hit her with enough power to knock down the one she carries. Though Chome is one tough son of a bitch, she can't give her Jinchuriki her resilience." Naruto approached the downed Jinchuriki carefully, the rest of his team dispatching the remainder of the bandit camp as he moved to check her vitals. "That was mean shithead, I thought you killed her," stated Tayuya. "I learned while fighting Kabuto not to play with opponents," stated Naruto. "If I had gone all out from the moment they arrived, I could have killed the four-eyed bastard." "Was she the target of your second mission?" questioned Hana as she approached Choji, who had a large gash on his hand, doing her best to heal it. "I heard you say something about leaving with Jiraiya-sama. Yay. Taki sent us a mission request to recover her. They said she was taken out of the village. But she said that she was kicked out," stated Naruto with a sigh. "We will take her back to the village with us until the old man and pervy sage decide what to do." "The perverts. You're going to give this attractive, young, unconscious woman to the perverts?" "On second thought, I'll bring her to the hospital first. With Itachi. It doesn't make sense. You're recovering," stated Kono, her eyes studying the young Uchiha in front of her. "It's more than I've managed to do in the last 3 years. Is my body actually fighting it off? Questioned Itachi, his Sharingan deactivated as he looked himself over. Kono simply shook her head. I've only seen recovery like this once before. And since I know you're not one of that clan yourself, what is your relationship with the Kyuubi Jinchuriki? And when did you come into contact with the Kyuubi's chakra? Otogakur. Kabuto. What's wrong with you? Questioned the snake Sanin as he looked down on the teen, writhing in pain on the bed. It's chakra poisoning, stated Kabuto with gritted teeth as he did his best to numb his pain. Green chakra began glowing from his stomach as he visibly relaxed. Whatever chakra Naruto was using when we fought has gotten into my coils and it's burning me from the inside out. Damn that brat. Prepare for travel, bring your medicine. We leave at dawn, stated Orochimaru. Where are we going? Questioned the white-haired medic as he sat up. We will find Tsunade. I'm sure if I pay off a chunk of her sizable debt, she will heal you. Stated Orochimaru. We will use this opportunity to convince her to side with us. Do your best not